Hey YouTubers, if you're watching this, then consider yourself lucky. I mean, after all, this is going to be a video that will show you how to get lucky on purpose. I was like everyone else out there. God, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I hated my job, just like everybody else. I was just like millions of everyone, you know, just in debt, didn't know how to get out of the situation. And when I finally realized that sometimes life happens in weird ways. It was one of those bad days, and I'm going to work, and the car breaks down. And, you know, it's one of those days when, God, this isn't something you need, and it's inevitable. When a car breaks down, it's always when you don't need it to break down. And so I get out of the car knowing full well by the sound of the breakdown that it was going to be expensive, and I just didn't have the cash at the time. So I got the hood up and I'm looking at the car, and an older gentleman came over and offered to help, and we were both looking at it and really couldn't figure it out. Like I said, it sounded expensive and far more technical than what I could do. So then, he looked at me and he looked at the car and he said, times are tough, aren't they? I said, yeah, times are really tough right now. It's really hard. He said, I'd like to share something with you if you're open to it. And at that point, I didn't have anywhere else to go, and I said, sure, let's talk about it. And he said that he had plugged into working on a Lotto system a while back, and he earns average, once or twice a month that he actually does pretty well. And, of course, I wanted to know more. But right about then, he said, let me call a buddy of mine and help you with a car, and we can get this car out off the side of the road and someplace where we can get a tow truck to it or whatever. So we left that conversation entirely and focused on the car. And then once we had everything set up with my car, I went to shake his hand, and I said, I want to get together and finish this conversation with you about what you're doing with the Lotto system. And he said, sure. He agreed, and he gave me his number, and a couple weeks later I reached out to him, and we got together, and he finished that conversation. And he began to tell me that, it's really more calculated. It has nothing to do with luck, and that it's just a system that you have to plug into, and once you learn how to work it, it works really well. And, I was hesitant because, here again, one of those get-rich-quick things. But it's not that. You have to learn it. You have to work it. So I did, and it took me a little while to get up to speed. But once I did, I'm averaging, the same thing he was averaging, winning once or twice a month. And it's not, we're not doing well, big wins, but we're doing, well enough to where I don't have to worry about the phone ringing anymore. My wife doesn't have to work 2 jobs anymore. So it's working out really well. And I would recommend that you click on that link down in the description field, because it is a discount link. And take advantage of that discount and give it a shot. It's worth it. It works, and I would definitely recommend it.